gone on to Facebook yet.
Gotcha.
We are now.
Now
Yeah,
we are.
we are live, and I'm going to share. So let's see. I mean, we have 10 seconds to 8. No, it's 8
It's 8 o'clock. All right. It's officially 8 p.m. It's go time for us. How is everyone doing out there tonight? My name is John Gardner. This is my wife and law partner, Radlin Mendoza, and we are the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza. And we also have our very special guest with us tonight. Odette Batchelor is joining us, and I'll let Radlin introduce her a little bit more in a minute.
I'm sharing things.
Because they work together now. In a minute.
You know what?
In a minute.
Okay, all right.
In a minute.
Odette, I feel like Odette needs no introduction here on our weekly live.
That's true.
Let me introduce Odette.
Okay, you go ahead and do that. Then I'll finish the rest.
Fantastico. Let me introduce Odette. Good friend, colleague. We've worked together for 26 plus years. Odette is a retired senior USCIS immigration officer. We love to have Odette here, and we love to have Odette on our team because she provides another perspective, right? She provides the perspective of a 42-year INS, formerly INS, and USCIS veteran of all the cases, the tens of thousands, 100,000 cases probably that you've looked at for all these years. And she provides this amazing insight. And we have her for 45 minutes tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Odette Batchelor.
That's right. It's so awesome. It's like we get to see what is going on inside the head of these immigration officers when they're reviewing the cases. Well, we don't have to wonder because we can just ask Odette. So this is absolutely a golden opportunity and a great opportunity for us to have her every week. So Odette, thanks again for being here. But as I was saying, for that amazing introduction, we come to you every Wednesday night from 8 to 8:45. We give you immigration updates. Sometimes we get into just one topic if it's something that's really pressing at the moment. We'd love to answer your questions, and we end up answering a lot of questions. So if you have questions on Facebook, get them posted. If you're joining us on TikTok, welcome as well. And you can get your questions posted up there. I know one thing that a lot of you are concerned about tonight is that it's 8 o'clock and in less than 1 hour now, the Mexico World Cup game versus the Czech Republic will be taking place. Don't worry, we're going to be done at 8:45, so you'll have 15 minutes to get yourself settled, get your drinks, your snacks, and get ready to watch the game. All right?
Fantastic.
We won't go long tonight, right?
What?
We won't go long tonight.
I'm like looking at.
We'll stop right at 8:45
absolutely
sharp, so that everybody will have a solid 15 minutes to get the game.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we have questions already. Someone said hello.
And we can answer the questions. One last thing, I do want to remind everyone that what we do here is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Okay, so with all that preamble, let's actually get to it.
All right. Yes. And as you mentioned, John, tonight we're going to be talking more about adjustment of status and what's going on with adjustment of status, these questions that are being asked, and the discretion really just kind of, I want to say ramped up, but the officer has always had the discretion with I-45s. Is that right, Odette? Tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind. Just the, why you can approve a case, why you can deny a case, and some of the factors that you take into account. So y'all listen up. If you filed your I-45, if you're about to file your I-45, this is golden information. Right? Golden information? Yes, it's golden. Yeah. Share your golden information.
So the adjustment of status applications, there always have been, from even the memo that went out, a lot of that was already part of the law. It is the discretion of the officers going through the case, asking questions, the answers that they receive from the applicants to determine what their decision is going to be. the documents that are submitted, are they legit documents? Are there any missing documents? They look into past history, any criminal, any violations whatsoever. It could be any consulate violations from the State Department. Everything is taken into consideration when determining if they're going to approve, deny the case. And this also goes into your visas that you come into the United States with. Did you follow the law as far as the visa issuance? Did you come here and go to school on your F1 visa like you said you were? You came in on, say, a visitor's visa. Did you overstay the visa? Why'd you overstay? These are some of the things we look into, and we ask these questions to determine, what if the case is going to be approved, it's going to be denied, if we have to send a request for evidence, annoyed. So a lot of it is determined based on what you file, what you write on your application, documents you submit. And then when you get to the interview, all that will be going through. Every single question will be asked. So be prepared. Yeah. And there are long questions, 20 pages. That's a lot of questions on there. So be prepared for the interview to at least be a good hour, if not more. And from those questions and answers will lead to other questions from the officer based on how you answered it and what you submitted.
Right. Okay. And yeah, and as Odette said, that has always been the case. And now because of this memo, they're digging more into some of these intent questions that, frankly, USCIS didn't get too much into that. I will quote also someone who used to work at your office, and she said, "I didn't ask the intent question because I didn't want to know." Right? I didn't ask the intent question because I didn't want to know, because the person is married to a U.S. citizen, right? And so we have that really old case that, if there's only one negative factor and that person had immigrant intent, then you should still approve the case. And so I think that's kind of where she was going with that. We have all these different circumstances where you come into the United States, you come and you tell the CBP at the airport, is like, what is the purpose of your trip? The purpose of my trip is to visit my boyfriend, for example, right? Like, okay, they look at your immigration history. You've never overstayed. They say, have a nice trip. And then when you get to the airport and dinner that night, he proposes to you, right? And it's a complete surprise. And so then you go to, you Google great immigration law firm in Virginia Beach, and our law firm comes up, Gardner Mendoza. And then you meet with one of our attorneys, and then they tell you the different scenarios of how you can do your case. You could do consular processing. You could do a K-1. Guess what? You could actually do adjustment of status here in the United States. And so that has always been an option. And now we are kind of really getting into, okay, really what happened, right? So did you have a return ticket? Did you quit your job and did you come to the United States? Do you still have your job? Are you still in school? So these are also the questions that we're asking people who come and talk to us, because as this memo stated, that there's going to be more scrutiny, and these questions are going to be asked now for the most part. So thanks for that insight. Let's grab a question.
Yeah, so
I saw
Nader Sidi was the very first one up tonight.
All right.
Probably wants to get their question answered quickly so that they'll have extra time to prepare for the game.
To watch the World Cup.
Yep. The question that they have is, does one petty offense okay for good moral character for citizenship? So they've got a petty offense and applying for citizenship, and they're concerned, is this going to be a moral character problem for them?
Yeah, I mean, one petty offense we're looking at the totality of the circumstances. If it truly is a petty offense, actually, Odette, I'll let you answer this question. So let's just say this person has one petty offense. Let's say it's reckless driving, right? It's a misdemeanor here in Virginia. It's a class 1 misdemeanor. The person got a $500 fine, no jail time. And this is the only negative aspect of their naturalization case, this reckless driving conviction. And again, I'm doing complete hypothetical, right? And let's say it was 1 year ago. They're totally done with their probation, and if they had probation, they've paid the fines. They're a person of good moral character otherwise, and no other negative factors. What do you say about that, Odette? So see, we're asking the the retired USCIS senior officer who's probably looked at 100,000 cases. So
yeah, that one, long as there's no more probation, they're good.
Right, and this is not legal advice. Even this is every case is different, right? And from this former, now retired immigration officer's side of her desk, she's saying, yeah, you should be good. Now, petty offense, where did you come up with that term, right? That's a legal term. Mm-hmm. When you say petty offense, what do you mean by that? Yeah, you can ask those questions.
You would definitely want to consult with somebody about whether you're correct that it's a petty offense. And Odette brings up a really good point about the probation. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's something a lot of people maybe don't realize, is that it is going to be a problem for you if you're still on probation or a period of good behavior, like here in Virginia. If you have jail time and it's suspended, or even part of your fine can be suspended on a period of good behavior, as long as you're still on that period of good behavior and that court still has power to do something more to you, then you're going to be stalled with immigration. And so I always used to tell my clients, and I still tell criminal defense lawyers that I'm consulting now, when you're working out plea deals in these cases, or if it's just a guilty plea or even a conviction after a trial and you're in a sentencing phase of the case, you want to try to keep those good behavior periods as short as you possibly can, because your client's immigration is going to be on hold, or citizenship is going to be on hold while they're under that period of good behavior.
Yeah, and you brought up hold. Odette, how long would you guys hold a case, for example?
We would not hold it. We would deny that case as long as they're still on probation. Right. And I will say if the probation is over like that next day or that same week, it's a good chance, depending on the officer you get, like if you can get that document to us to show that it has been final, then we would be able to. But these days they're trying to get cases in and out. I'm going to tell you, they'll probably deny it that day.
Tough. That's so right. Tough. That's not the immigration I knew back when I was a young whippersnapper.
Not back in the day.
Yeah.
It's tough out there, guys. I mean, you get a denial and like that, and yeah, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be shocked that happened, because just as John said, like if you're still on probation and you're hearing it from Odette, that could very well be denied within a day or two. And as immigration attorneys, we try, right? We're going to try to ask. We're going to try to say, hey, look, can you hold it? Sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no. Odette probably does not remember this. However, many years ago, she's like, uh-oh. Many years ago, I had a client. He was not just a client. He was actually a really good friend of ours. He became a good friend. He was actually one of my very first clients. And he applied for citizenship. Now, the case has to be adjudicated. And his daughter was about to turn 18. And I asked Odette, I was like, can we get this? Can we get this sped up? I mean, can I get this expedited? My client's daughter is about to turn 18. She's going to miss her chance to derive from her dad, who's naturalizing. And Odette said, why didn't he file it sooner?
That sounds like me.
So I remember this, like, why did he not file the naturalization sooner? I'm like, okay, you got me. I don't know why. So, and this is, we have a great relationship, but she brought up a really good point. Look, your client's procrastination on applying for naturalization is not now my problem to expedite and put every other case I have on hold so I can just look at yours. But anyway, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's all good. I forgive you.
So
Thanks.
just to circle back. So if you have a criminal conviction of any kind, or you have a criminal case pending, you really should consult with an attorney about how it may impact your immigration case. And also, just to be clear, they're absolutely right. When I talk about your case being on hold, I just mean like on hold in terms of how soon you can go forward with it. Immigration is not going to be like, oh, we'll just hold your case over here. Let me just put it on the Diaz behind my desk here. And as soon as you're done with that good behavior next year, come back and see me, and I will, open the file up and finish it up. That's not how it's going to go. So
Nope.
call somebody.
Yeah.
Call us. All right.
Yeah, it was a really good question. And just like you said, petty offense, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's a term, it's a legal term.
It is.
So, all right. Next question here.
So the next question here is, I have a marriage case adjustment of status filed October 2025, interview February 9th, no decision and no work permit. What do I do?
Okay, so filed October 2025, so it's still less than a year, right? No work permit. So processing times, I will say it really depends on the field office, right? It depends on what their processing times are. I mean, Norfolk's processing times are 22 months for adjustment of status, family-based adjustment of status cases. Like you're still within a year, right? So, and you can chime in here, Odette. Like, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with this case or that is outside of processing times. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. No, it's just no, it's not. It's within processing times, most likely.
Yeah, the adjudication of the adjustment is in processing time, but I think their question more might be like, what's taking so long with my work permit?
Right.
Yeah. That is a long time to wait, but they can do service requests on the management tool on our, well, not mine anymore, but USCIS.gov.
Yep. So is that what you would recommend there, is do a service request on that 755?
Yeah.
There you have it. Do a service request. And I think that we all agree here that there's not necessarily something wrong with your case. So don't panic yet. You're good for now.
Right.
All right. So do we want to grab, you're gonna have to read that because I don't know.
It's really, really long.
Should you summarize?
It's not really that kind of a question. This is Jim. He said, I want to let you know we got the visa, but she's in the hospital, female problems, and she's not going to be able to fulfill what they're required before she goes for our interview. If I understand right, I can write and request it for the DJ to be put on hold now. When I do that, the certificate shows the visa has been approved out of California, and whoops, I just moved. And it says you only have 4 months to complete all this. I'm going to probably have to go to the Philippines and help her out for a while. I'm telling anybody out there going for a K-1 visa, get a lawyer. It's been really hard, but we got it.
Okay.
So I guess it wasn't.
Well,
really
Jim
a
is,
question.
Thanks for sharing that, Jim. Jim is a regular on our Facebook Live.
Yes.
So we appreciate that information and for people to be aware that, yeah, I mean, it's a long road. I mean, it's nice to have somebody who's on your side and who actually has been doing it day in and day out, who does it day in and day out, I should say.
Yeah. And I think Jim's giving great advice here. Like, it's it's complicated. It is possible. You're not required to have an attorney to go through immigration process, but here's somebody who is warning everyone out there, get a lawyer. Like, if I could do it all again, I would just hire somebody. It would have been worth it to do that.
Jim, you still can.
And I think the thing people don't think about is, oh, it's pretty straightforward fiance case, I'll be okay. But you never know what happens. And look what happens in Jim's case. Now they have all these obstacles to come over. So if you had a lawyer from the very beginning, they could have, help you along with those documents and what you needed to get done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Thank you, Jim.
All right. Nico here says, a few years ago, I got pulled over for a DUI, but I fought it to the court and won. What happens now?
What are you doing now?
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing now, Nico. I can tell you a few things about that. Having been a criminal defense lawyer for many, many years. So if I'm understanding you correctly, you were charged with a DUI, you pled not guilty, you went to court, and you won, and the case was dismissed. All right. That's great. All right. Because if it was dismissed on the merits like that, it's a true dismissal. There's no facts sufficient for a finding of guilt. There was no deferred finding, none of that. You just have a straight out acquittal, a not guilty verdict. And in Virginia, I don't know where you are. In Virginia, that is one of the few places where you can seek to have it expunged. You can have an expungement if you pled not guilty and were found not guilty on the merits. And that's true most places. But even if you don't want to get an expungement, you don't need to have an expungement. But for immigration purposes, you're pretty good here, except the only caveat I would add, and Odette and Radlin, you may want to chime in on this, is, you still were charged. And so you don't want to be walking around telling immigration folks that you've never had any interaction with law enforcement ever. Like, were you ever charged with anything or arrested? Nope. Because you were charged, you were arrested, but you won the case. So good for you.
Yeah, right. No, that is a great recommendation. Odette, I'm sure I've seen it. I've seen it in front of immigration officers with my own clients. I've seen it with our clients not really maybe not understanding the question. We say, have you ever been arrested, charged, cited, indicted, fined, or imprisoned for breaking the law, right? That's a very loaded question. And a lot of times our clients will initially say, no, none of that has ever happened to me because, you know what, my case was dismissed and I wasn't convicted. Read the question. Read the question closely. And for the person asking the question, I'm not sure what question he's asking, whether he's talking about applying for citizenship or I-45. It doesn't matter, right, Odette? I mean, what happens if he doesn't put the arrest down on any of these applications? I mean, now we've got this whole heightened discretion where that's a lie. That's a misrepresentation.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what it is, a misrepresentation. And then the officer is going to go and ask the question again. And if you keep saying the same thing, and then we show you the proof, well, now it's a little late because you said no a couple of times here.
It's a little late. Listen, and this is such a great tip here. Odette said the officer is going to ask you the question again. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting the same question asked of you 2-3 times, you better go into your memory bank and come up with the right answer this time, right? Yeah. Because they're actually giving you a chance. Your application, no matter what you're filing, whether it's your I-45 or your N-400, your application is open throughout that interview, right? It's not done yet. So if you made a mistake on the application, sometimes it happened with us or something happened with our client while we were waiting. First thing we would do after swearing in, right? After our clients is like, we want to correct the application. That's the first thing we would do. Because we wanted to make sure the officer knew that, hey, we're not trying to hide the ball with anything here. So Yes, you have to be really careful. And remember, the question is very broad. And if you've been arrested, cited, that's a ticket, charged. It's really broad. You have to say yes, right? On that answer.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
be careful. I'm always warning people about these deferred findings. You know, Nico won his case. Good job, Nico, and good job to your attorney. But a lot of folks go to court and they walk out thinking their case was dismissed because they've been, told like, oh, go do anger management or, pay your fines and costs and stay out of trouble for the next year. And then the charge will be dismissed. And they might even go back to court and actually hear a judge say, congratulations on completing your counseling or whatever, your drug counseling, the charge is dismissed. And they walk out of the courthouse thinking, oh, okay, my charge was dismissed, so I'm not guilty of it. That's still a conviction for immigration purposes because that court had a finding that was sufficient of guilt for guilt, but chose to defer it so that you could ultimately have the charge dismissed. But that's not a dismissal for immigration purposes. So really be careful with that too.
Yeah, the dreaded deferred finding.
Yeah, there's been a lot of case law.
Right.
And picking and around all that.
And Odette, I'm sure you've seen a lot of deferred findings.
A lot.
And I'm sure
you're right. Radlin has came in my office several times with updates to the case, like to questions and documents and court dispositions. So, and it's good. You come right in, you bring the stuff before we start off. This saves a lot of time.
Right. And I think that people aren't really trying to necessarily hide the ball. I mean, I don't actually know. I have no idea.
Well, that's why I mentioned it, because I think a lot of, people maybe, but I think a lot of people actually just in their mind, they're just thinking that, oh, well, it's dismissed. And how's she ever going to know? Was in another state,
They know.
And you don't realize, Odette, you can tell everyone, right? You guys know.
We know.
How do you know? How do you know?
Well, as soon as they go get their fingerprints, it pops up for any state you've been through. It will also pop up if there's something in another country. So just don't hide anything.
But Odette, I mean, you guys are only asking about criminal charges and stuff that happened in the United States, correct? Not outside of the United States.
Nope. Wherever in the whole world.
Right.
Cited, charged, detained, arrested. Yes. Anywhere in the world. And the question does say anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. And one more $1 million tip here is that if you get pulled into secondary inspection, then you should put it down on your application. If you get pulled in and you're not detained, but like you're held there because they're questioning you, because that's come up during an interview before. I see here, why didn't you put this down? You didn't put down that you stayed 18 hours in the secondary detention, secondary inspection being questioned. I mean, so it's better to be, I would say, well, I'm not going to say that, but if it happened, then it's better. I will say that it's better to put it on and not second guess. Because I think what happens is people also think, well, if I put this down, then my case is going to get denied. Right? Mm-hmm. Your case is not going to get denied because of a speeding ticket. It may get denied because you lied about it. Right? I mean, so you need to especially, I think everyone should use an immigration attorney. And yes, I'm biased, but it is insane that people are filing their cases right now without assistance from an immigration attorney. But especially if you have anything in your past that is criminal, criminal record, whether you've been arrested, anything like that, you have to be really careful. All right.
Yeah, they know.
Okay. So
they know about the bar fight in Manhattan, Kansas in 1990. You thought no one knew about. Okay, we have
we
a
have one
question
here. How long for a
Oh,
marriage visa? So, I mean, it depends on the country. You know, in order to get that interview, and how long is it going to take to get the interview, which is going to be the very last step. But just the filing of the I-130 petition, and when you say marriage visa, I'm assuming you're talking about your spouse is abroad and applying for an immigrant visa. But just that I-130 petition is like 17 and a half months, 18 months for that to be approved. So you really are looking at 2.5+ years before your spouse immigrates to the United States if you file that I-130 petition. So it's a long process. Keep the lines of communication open. That's my marriage tip for those who are going through this.
Okay, a question over here on TikTok. Do you help with EB-1A applications?
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. Salim, if you're looking to do EB-1 work, give us a chat, give us a call, shoot us an email. Absolutely.
Yes, there has been a huge increase in EB-1 cases, EB-1A cases, and they take a really long time to prepare, and there's a lot of strategy that goes into those, and we'd be happy to take a look at it and see if we can help. Absolutely.
All right, now CD said it was going back to the first question that it was a retail theft of $47. No jail, no probation, first time in my life, summary of offense. Okay. Well, that's then you're probably okay, although, you know, theft is trouble area for immigration for sure.
Right. And when did it happen too?
And,
would it happen within 5 years of entry into the United States? I mean, there's just a lot there.
And even an offense like that with a theft crime, I mean, in Virginia, for example, petty theft, petty larceny, as we call it, is it's still a class 1 misdemeanor. It is a problem, and it can be a major problem for immigration purposes. Sometimes it can fall under a petty offense exception in certain situations if the maximum jail time is 1 year or less, and the sentence that was imposed was 6 months or less, whether it was suspended or not. So, you know, there's some things to splice through there, not to a CD. So I would still be careful. When you said petty offense, I was like, yeah, theft I don't like. I'm just being honest.
Because it's a crime of moral turpitude.
Yeah, theft.
Right? It's a CIMT.
I don't like theft. Not like I don't like theft as a personal matter. No offense to you, but in immigration cases, I don't like theft. It always is like red flags start going around. Okay. Superman wants to know, I don't make lots of money. Me and my 2 sons are citizens, and my wife got a green card about a year ago. Is it okay to get benefits or SNAP? So Superman is a U.S. citizen, sons are citizens, wife has a green card, got it a year ago.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you as a U.S. citizen and your sons as a U.S. citizen, you all are eligible to receive government-assisted benefits. And your wife now has a lawful permanent resident card, right? Even if it's a 2-year card, that the question of affidavit of support is not going to come up again during that process. So, Odette, you have anything to add there? I mean, I know that we file green card application cases where even if the beneficiary is, the green card applicant has used some of those benefits because they're pregnant, right? So what is it? Women, infant, children. So I would love to hear your perspective on this and how you're seeing this as a public charge situation. I think that's what the question goes to. And
yeah, the public charge, as far as like women needing to be on WIC or something, that doesn't count. Doesn't cancel them out or anything like that. And again, like you said, she's a permanent resident, so she's fine. I mean, I don't know what benefits she's eligible for, or he or the children, but it has nothing to do with her status anymore. Not even for citizenship.
Right. Okay. You heard that from Odette, retired senior USCIS immigration officer who has done 100,000 plus cases, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that's good news for you, Superman. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit better now. You'll be able to relax a little bit more when you go watch the game.
And one thing that I would say, right, is, just wife applying for these benefits. I wouldn't do that if she's not eligible, right? Like, don't. I think that goes without saying. But just some people actually commit fraud and lie in order to get benefits. So I'm not saying you're going to do that, but just don't apply for something for your wife where she's not eligible to get it. Even if they tell you that she can, but that she's not able to, just don't do it.
Yeah, I would. It's never. Obviously, it's wrong. It's not something anyone should do. But outside of the immigration, we're always talking about immigration here, but just in other areas, this kind of fraud, there's a white hot spotlight on all this stuff right now. So this is a really bad time if you were planning to bend some rules with any of that kind of stuff. There's a news story every day practically now about something involving that. So be careful. Goes without saying, you're right. But, a lot of things go without saying, and we still do them. We all make mistakes, right? Okay. Forestero says, how about any resident that doesn't have any criminal history?
Great.
There's no question in there, but yeah, I would say to you, just keep it that way.
Keep it that way. Yeah. And if you're eligible time-wise and otherwise, apply for citizenship. Now's the time. Ooh, citizenship fees are going up.
They are.
Do you have an announcement about that? Let's talk about citizenship fees
right
going
here.
up.
I didn't know when we'd get to it, or
it's very important.
USCIS published a notice of proposed rulemaking that plans to hike the filing fees significantly. The Form N-400 would rise to a $1,330 fee for a paper filing, $1,280 if it's online. The Form N-336 request for hearing on a naturalization decision would go up to $1,475 for a paper filing and $1,425 if it's online. And the rule also proposes eliminating most fee waivers and reduced fee options. So public comments are open until August 4th. So,
Public comments are open, but what's going to happen is these fees are going to go up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think any public comment has prevented immigration fees.
I've never known about public comments influencing anything that is done or not.
Yeah, this is a pretty big hike because right now it's $710 to e-file it. And are you saying it's
$1,280 to e-file? Yeah.
So it's nearly double.
Nearly double.
Nearly double. That's so. No criminal record. This lawful permanent resident who has no criminal record, now is the time to apply for U.S. citizenship. So you can file it while it's still under $1,200. It's $710 to e-file it, $725, I believe, to paper file it. Guys, don't let this opportunity slip you by. Look, and it could go up again. Who knows? And one thing that John and I talk about a lot, because we're law partners, we're also married. We talk about how people are afraid to do anything right now because of the Trump administration, but these lines are still open for you to apply for citizenship. No, Trump is not going to personally pick up your N-400 application like, oh no, I'm Donald Trump, this is denied. I feel like that's what people think is going to happen. If you're eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship, then you should apply for U.S. citizenship.
Yeah,
right.
And you know what the rules are now. So at least you're dealing with, and that they've gotten stricter even in the last year. So,
Right. Yeah. And
they may get stricter even still. So now is the time.
So, and Odette, you've been in the game, right, longer than we have. You've seen all the administrations. You've seen all the fee increases. Can you maybe just speak to that as far as people waiting? They're waiting.
I would say because every year, or every couple of years, the fees go up on different applications. I should have filed probably an N-600 so many years ago. I would probably never do it now because it's well over $1,000. And you know what? That's my fault, because I sat right there in the office and watched the fees keep going up. If you're eligible, file right away. And I know money is an object right now for people, but if you got a credit card or a family friend that'll help you out and you could pay them back on installments, I would do it. Pay them back. Get your application filed.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you for that.
All right, Forastero. I mean, we're making a lot of assumptions. We're assuming that Forastero is a permanent resident who's thinking about becoming a citizen.
Wait, what was the question?
Just that they don't have any criminal history.
Oh, how about my resident? That
Yeah, we don't know whether Forastero is thinking about naturalizing or not.
he should be thinking about it. That's what we're trying to say.
That they are, and I will be waiting for the call tomorrow. Forastero, I will be expecting you to contact our office tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and we can help you no matter where you are, Forrester. And yes, we are advising if you're eligible. It sounds like that you are to apply for U.S. citizenship.
Yeah,
you might want to tell your phone number for people on TikTok, because I see a lot of people saying they need a lawyer.
757-464-9224, or you can email us info@gmlaw.net.
Or send us a DM on TikTok.
Or TikTok DM 757-464-9224. Okay, let's see.
All right.
Good evening.
Do you have any other? We just got blessed again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you. All right. Just got my 2-year green card and I need to talk with a lawyer. Okay.
Call us. Give us a call. Somebody with a 2-year green card who needs to speak with a lawyer. There are a couple of fact patterns that could fit. Marriage isn't working out would be one of them. I actually can't think of the other one, but give us a call, because, and I'm making an assumption here. Odette, do you have any other ideas as to why someone who just got their 2-year green card would need to speak to a lawyer?
Maybe they needed to travel overseas with their spouse in the military and we're going to be gone for maybe 3 years in Japan. That's a common one.
Okay. All right.
Or they got their 2-year card and they want to know how soon they can file for citizenship.
Okay.
That's
both really good.
Yeah, that's a common one too.
Both really good, different scenarios. And then the first one that you mentioned, there is a special benefit there to bypass that whole 751. We're not going to get into that. But
oh yeah, don't get into that.
But I am glad this came up, because it's a good reminder that, and there was some Supreme Court ruling on this very recently about that the border officers do not have to have clear and convincing evidence that a lawful permanent resident committed a crime involving moral turpitude before treating them as an applicant for admission when returning to the U.S. This was a decision that came out yesterday. It just more broadly, again, going back to this criminal record stuff, if you are a permanent resident and you do have some criminal history, traveling can be really, really a risky, complicated thing. It's not always. And there are ways around it, even if you have the criminal record. But if you do have a criminal record, you really want to be careful, because once you leave the United States, when you come back, you're seeking entry again. You're coming back into the U.S. And that's a different situation than when you're here. So you want to be super careful if you have any kind of criminal record.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you get your 2-year card, like you have your 2-year card, maybe something happened, right? Just like that. Maybe the person was charged with something or convicted of something, and traveling outside of the United States is dangerous. And then here with this ruling.
This is Blanche versus Lau. If anyone's interested, it was a U.S. Supreme Court ruling, 6-3.
Be careful. All right. I think we have time for one more questions so
Yeah,
we don't miss the World Cup
Right.
game.
We vowed at the beginning that we were going to have a hard break at
We have 1
8:45
minute.
so that everybody will have sufficient time to get situated for the
This is
Czech Republic versus Mexico World Cup game starting at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so Big Boss Ellie wants to know, last question.
all right. Last question from Big Boss.
Can someone who was detained and an I-485 is administratively closed still receive their work permit?
Someone was detained, 45 administratively closed. That's a good question. Odette, I don't
and then
know.
wanted to know, what if it's expunged?
Okay. So there's a crime that's involved. A charge.
So if they were detained, if the work permit came out before the case was closed, administratively closed, then I mean, it's already issued. But normally those administratively closed letters let you know that those cards are not valid.
Right. Yeah.
But you do have the card in hand. I mean, can you show it as, hey, a picture ID? I mean, we're not the person looking at it. Maybe DMV is or something, but
yeah.
You heard it here first, Big Boss Ellie.
Yeah.
Now it probably won't be issued if it's closed in the system as admin closed, because that's how it's produced. Everything links up together.
Right. So if you're trying to renew a 765 and your I-485 has been administratively closed, then you're most likely not going to get that renewal done of your I-765. Now, if you're in court proceedings, then you can. I don't do removal work anymore. It's been a really long time, but I know that we used to be able to file the I-485 and the 765 and get a 765 based on that 485. So administratively closed, and you're trying to do it, and the 765 that's married with that is not going to be able to get renewed, most likely, unless you're filing it. We used to file it in Texas if you're in immigration proceedings. So,
okay.
All right.
It's now 8:47. We're over our stop time. Big Boss Ellie, we wanted to make sure that we got to you. Thank you, everyone, again for joining us tonight. We will do this all again next Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
It's not the 4th of July next Wednesday, is it? No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's the 31st.
No, it's not.
Is it the 31st or the 1st? How many days in?
Today is, no, next Wednesday will be July 1st.
Okay.
No, July 1st.
30 days in June, guys. Who knew? Who knew?
Well, you can always use the knuckle trick.
John, okay, you're gonna teach me that later.
Yeah.
All right.
You can count knuckles, all the months if you don't want to memorize them. Anyway.
Guys, thank you so much. Really wonderful questions. Odette, thank you for being here again.
Yeah, it's always so great to have
Thank you.
You bring a great perspective, and we really, truly appreciate it. And you all should appreciate it as well, because it's totally awesome.
Totally awesome.
All right.
All right.
Whoever you're rooting for, doesn't matter. Enjoy the game. Czech Republic versus Mexico in 12 minutes. All right. See you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.